Hello there, my beautiful, wonderful, amazing, cozy babes, and welcome back to the coziest corner of the internet. Today, we are going to just be channeling directly from your guides what you need to hear right now, this week. I feel like these messages are going to be pretty intense because one of the piles is like, you'll see anyways if you choose that one, but I feel like the readings are going to be kind of intense today. So I would say just buckle up, Buttercup. And this card here represents pile 1, pile 2 here, pile 3 here, pile 4 here. We have this card and then a pile of others with it that I'll go over, starting with pile number 1. It's okay if you choose more than one. It's okay if you choose 2 or 3 or half of one and half of another. Your intuition is never wrong here. What I would say, if you feel a resistance to any pile, definitely add that one in to whatever you're thinking of selecting, because oftentimes the pile that you have the most resistance to, there's a message for. So in any case, I'm going to go ahead and get into it starting from pile number 1. The description box will have the timestamps to get right into your pile. Before we get into your reading, I just want to let you know about today's sponsor, which is me, myself, Kloee Taylor, and I. If y'all didn't know, I don't just read tarot cards here on YouTube. I also do private readings on my website, 𝐘𝐿eetaylor.com. And I also have my Patreon available to you. So my private readings right now, if you're seeing this when this video is newly released, I actually, for the first time ever, have listed some relationship readings, private readings on my website. There's one for singles, takens, and one for self-love in honor of Valentine's Day. So be sure to grab those while supplies last, because I will not be restocking them. And there's birth charts and a myriad of other readings you can find there as well. Grab them before they're gone, because I don't know when I'll actually be restocking this time. I've been doing them pretty consistently the last few months, but I know that I'm going to be taking a break from private readings after this set. So if you're wanting a reading, make sure you snag one while you can. And then my Patreon, if you didn't know, every single month I put together extra pick a cards for y'all, master classes. I just did an astrology masterclass this past month, and it was all about like being your own astro bestie and learning to read your birth charts. I also do like monthly tarot and astrology readings for all of the signs. I go through and I tell you like what for your sign you should be expecting. I do like a deep dive every month for you around the first of the month. There's a monthly theme. There's just that. And like when you join, you also unlock something crazy, like over 400 posts from me. So videos that you can't get anywhere else. And I love my patrons over on Patreon. Y'all are the best. So be sure to join, become a cozy babe. I just wanted to let you know about those two things. Now let's go ahead and get into your reading. All right, pile number 1. First and foremost, you have the androgyny. Is that how you'd say that? Androgyny. You have this card, which this deck, actually the one that we're reading from for like the main, this like significator card here, this deck, I want to say it was made in honor of an androgynous person from the deck creator's like past, like a teacher or somebody that really inspired her art. So I just think that's really cool. This card's like really special. The deck that we're looking at was kind of based around this like androgynous person. So in any case, I'm going to go ahead and read this one from the book, and then we'll get into all of your other cards. So this card says creative transcendence, multiplicity, the artist. The androgen, I think that's how you say it, is a deeply revered image in alchemy. Born of Hermes and Aphrodite, I cannot say this, Hermaphroditos has been classically depicted as a balanced union of divine masculine, the sun, and divine feminine, the moon. Yet today's alchemist knows the androgen is far more nuanced than that. It encompasses the infinite spectrum and reveals itself in ever-changing non-binary forms. The divine hermaphrodite defies definition, as it is deeply personal, a felt experience. Accessing this fluid and enlightened state an enlightened state requires us to slip into the contradictory realm of the senses. Breath by breath, we are drawn into our limbs, our fluids, our orifices, organs, and cells. We let go of the rules and labels. Judgment is suspended. The The gods are present, as are the creative mysteries of the underworld. For a brief moment, we hold all of our complexities in one loving form. Like a newborn, we know not a name, gender, age, or location. We are the embodied artist, embraced unconditionally by the sun and moon. Wow. So it's like kind of encompassing the all, encompassing the person that is you, or the all that is you. That card I feel like was just like, whoa. Whoa, whoa. It says, read the poem, The Idea of Ancestry, to ponder sexuality without language, intimacy without sexuality. Through an alchemical image of completion, the androgyne makes a beginner of all of us. Regardless of gender orientation and sexual preference, allow yourself to know nothing today. Make a list of your contradictions. Start with sometimes I'm blank and sometimes I'm blank. Keep writing quickly until you feel the inclusive power of the archetype awaken. So it's like accepting all that is, accepting all that you are. And let's go ahead and see. I feel like your reading is going to be like, it's this and this. So I'm going to do 2 cards here and 2 cards here to kind of explain what you're balancing right now with this androgyne card. We have the 7 of Pentacles. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so we're very like financially driven, tending to our finances. Let's see what's on the other side. Knight of Crystals. And the Fool. Okay, this is literally practicality versus adventure. It's like you want to be this like really practical, grounded routines, working on mastery of the self kind of person, but it's counterbalanced by this like need to succeed. I'm sorry. We're driven, we're ambitious, there's this need to succeed, but it's counterbalanced by this need for adventure, this lust for life, because the Knight of Crystals is like following a passion pursuit or following something you're really passionate about, letting passion take the reins, not taking the practical route. And the Fool is throwing caution to the wind and just deciding to try new things for the sake of trying new things. The 7 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles tell a story of wanting to make money, wanting to create a foundation for yourself, wanting to master a skill so that you can be somebody in this world, quote unquote, where at the same time you're like, I just want to live. So let's kind of see what else we have here with that. I'm going to pull a couple more cards from here. We have the 5 of Cups reversed. And then we also have the Ace of Crystals reversed. So the 5 of Cups and the Ace of Crystals reversed. The 5 of Cups reversed I see as more of a positive. It's like we're overcoming this like all or nothing attitude. The Ace of Crystals to me says that we are stepping more away from... It's like you're trying to become more responsible, but you're sad about it. Are you going through a Saturn return, pile number 1? You have to be more responsible and you're sad about that because you feel like you're losing this like personal freedom. And the reality is you can have both. You can be in that receptive, creative, free-flowing mode, but you can also be somebody that steps into that masculine, that fire, that need to kind of put energy behind it, right? You can be both. I always like to remind people that like loving discipline, which I feel like disciplining yourself is more on the masculine side of things. Loving discipline allows you sometimes to slip into the divine feminine, because even if we take this as to something really simple, like your sleep hygiene, okay? If you step into your masculine role of being like, okay, I'm going to be responsible and make myself go to bed at a good time tonight. I'm going to take care of myself. It allows you to have that feminine routine at night, right? That nighttime feminine routine where you're taking all the comforts and luxuries and making a safe and like receptive space for yourself. It can encompass both. It doesn't have to be all force or all flow. And I think that's what you're learning right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use some astrology cards here to also get some more out of this message for you. All right, we have conjunction, no reversals on these. Conjunction. So when two signs are when two planets, are conjunct, this means that they are together. They like intensify, they magnify what's going on. Like whenever we have a new moon, the sun and the moon are conjunct each other. They're on top of each other. So they amplify and magnetize. When they are together, they create more intensity. They also create this like sometimes a really powerful force. Like when you have Jupiter conjunct the sun, right? This is like a really positive force in your life happening. If you have I'm trying to think of another example, like even like the new moon, it's a very like positive forward momentum. In this picture, it looks like we have Jupiter, and I'm not actually sure what this planet is, but Jupiter is always like luck, abundance, expansion, wisdom. And I think we should take into account the imagery here. So Spirit is saying that you are meant to expand through this experience. It's meant to be a supporting thing. The two becoming one. The sun and the moon work together in a delicate balance, right? So let yourself use these things to benefit you. Then we have Pisces. I think this is funny because when I pulled these first few cards on this side, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is giving such Piscean energy, not because of the cards, but it's like the feeling I'm getting is like Pisces kind of want to be aloof like that. Pisces want to be aloof. They want to be off in the astrals. They want to be just like on a vibe. They don't want to be in containment. They don't want to be like, most of them don't, not saying you can't have a masculine Pisces, but like most Piscean people that have a lot of that in their chart tend to want to be more in that like softer energy. It's more of a flow state. And so it's funny to me that Pisces would even come out, but Pisces to me, it's very dreamy. It's very ethereal. It's letting yourself kind of get captivated by the present moment. And I believe that what Spirit is trying to say here is that you need to start seeing like more magic and more wonder. There's 2 rainbows depicted in your reading too, which rainbows could be significant to you in some way. I just wanted to point that out. Looks like we also have ascendant. So you could be a Pisces rising. I would also say with the conjunct card and seeing Jupiter here, you could be a Sagittarius rising as well. But ultimately, the ascendant is all about the self, right? It's the ascendant literally is always in your first house, which is the house of the self. The ascendant is about you. It's how you actually move through life in astrology. This is why I always tell y'all that your ascendant is actually more important than your sun sign. Pay more attention to your ascendant. Read horoscopes for your ascendant because it's more important. You walk through life as your ascendant sign. And it's literally how horoscopes are written. If you take my masterclass on my Patreon, you would know all this information in detail. But the ascendant, it is you. So I feel like you need to find the balance between doing practical things, but actually making sure that you're living the life that you want to, even if it's in small ways. If you can't plan the big luxurious vacations, can you buy yourself a charcuterie board and spend some time with yourself in your living room? Can you camp out in the living room? Or can you buy a face mask? Can you do a spa night at home with yourself if you can't travel to Europe right now and get a massage? Can you bring that into your everyday life now? Can you act like it now? Is what I'm hearing. And then we also have the element of air showing up for you. So air is about our mind, our intellect. It could also be air travel coming for you soon. Spirit is saying some of you might be traveling soon or using your intellect for something important that's going to help you grow and expand. And you need to take a risk. Spirit with your reading pile number 1 is saying you need to take a risk right now. I'm hearing there's just like something that feels risky that you might feel a little scared of. Not like life threatening, obviously. Don't endanger yourself, but there's like maybe a mental risk of some kind, or Spirit is saying you need to take a risk. You need to take a gamble. You need to decide to try this new thing. Is there anything else? Let's see. 33. Ooh. 33 is another number of mastery. So I feel like you also need to be reminded, pile number 1, that you need to ask yourself the question, what are you doing it for? If you're just living to work, what are you doing it for? At the end of the day, what's it for? Who are you living for? That's like a really powerful question you need to ask yourself. But 33 is like the divine master's number. You came here for some kind of really intense mastery. Your spirit needs you to know that. Oh, look. And then we also got 22. That's another master number. You are a really powerful soul, pile number 1. I need you to know that. You incarnated here because you have a lot to say. You have a really powerful energy about you. Your energy, even just being on the planet, creates change. Like literally just by existing, you help the collective because you exist. I feel like that's it. That's what I got, Pal 1. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to check out my Patreon as well as my website if you want to get a private reading for yourself. And don't forget to stay cozy out there, cozy babe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. Decks, links, everything is down below. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Before we get into your reading, I just want to let you know about today's sponsor, which is me, myself, Kloee Taylor, and I. If y'all didn't know, I don't just read tarot cards here on YouTube. I also do private readings on my website, KloeTaylor.com. And I also have my Patreon available to you. So my private readings right now, if you're seeing this when this video is newly released, I actually, for the first time ever, have listed some relationship readings, private readings on my website. There's one for singles, take-ins, and one for self-love in honor of Valentine's Day. So be sure to grab those while supplies last because I will not be restocking them. And there's birth charts and a myriad of other readings you can find there as well. Grab them before they're gone because I don't know when I'll actually be restocking this time. I've been doing them pretty consistently the last few months, but I know that I'm going to be taking a break from private readings after this set. So if you're wanting a reading, make sure you snag one while you can. And then my Patreon, if you didn't know, every single month I put together extra pick-a-cards for y'all, masterclasses. I just did an astrology masterclass this past month, and it was all about like being your own astro bestie and learning to read your birth charts. I also do like monthly tarot and astrology readings for all of the signs. I go through and I tell you like what for your sign you should be expecting. I do like a deep dive every month for you around the first of the month. There's a monthly theme. There's just that. And like when you join, you also unlock something crazy, like over 400 posts from me. So videos that you can't get anywhere else. And I love my patrons over on Patreon. Y'all are the best. So be sure to join, become a cozy babe. I just wanted to let you know about those two things. Now let's go ahead and get into your reading. All right, pile number 2. You got Wise Salt. I am so familiar with this card, but I'm going to read it from the book anyways. I pulled this card so many times when I first got this deck, like over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. But I'm going to read the book to you anyway, even though I know what it means, because we're going to start with that. And then I have other cards we'll be reading for you as well. But let's go ahead and see. So this is XVIII or XXVIII. Okay. Nope. Sorry, I thought I was on the right page. I was not. There we go. Okay. Wisdom, grit, preservation. Wise salt is the sacred ingredient of preservation. In due time and with due experience, the alchemist slowly develops these granules of wisdom that can someday be passed to another. Salt, retains, preserves, and absorbs. It brings complexity to flavor and grit to slippery roads. Such is the magic of salsipients. Someone who carries wise salt is immediately recognizable. Their words hold meaning. Their stories are deep and true. They have wisdom that cannot be attained by any other means than decades of pain and pleasure. You may experience wise salt through the elders of the community. When this card appears, know that everything you are going through will be of use down the line. Alchemically, you are being brined. Preserve what you can, let go of the rest, and then lean on your elders. Go deeper. Read about the salt marches in India. To ponder the taste of tears. Then it says, notice your interaction with salt today. Take an Epsom salt bath and use salt consciously in your meals. Bless and thank it for its qualities. Think of a few people in your life who seem to carry wise salt. What is it about them that makes it so? Was their depth easily acquired? So, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't pull this card and not talk about it with you because maybe it will pertain to you. I used to pull this card. It was back in like 2022. Yeah, I used to pull this card. When I first got this deck, it came out multiple times for me. I was going through a really hard time. I had my mental health breakdown of 2021. I moved states. Like there was just so much stuff happening. And this card, like I was crying like every day. Every day I was crying. I just was not happy. I felt really depressed and I was having panic attacks really bad. I didn't know how to get through them. I was afraid of everything. Having panic attacks led me to having generalized anxiety. And the crazy thing is now that I'm out of that experience, now that I've lived through that, like I used to have like depersonalization and derealization really bad too. Now that I've gotten out of that, I've used what I learned in healing from that experience to help so many people. And not just like, I'm not saying this to have like a big head either. Like I've helped people in my own family. I've helped friends. Like to the point that some people say they also don't have panic attacks anymore. They also don't have those same problems anymore. And I use like the pain and the struggle of that situation to learn the healing modalities and then heal basically, and then spread that to others. And so I feel like if you're having a hard time right now, pile number 2, you need to know that you are being given wisdom right now. And I know that that can be really hard to hear when you're going through it. I didn't want to hear that. Like I remember reading this card and just crying more, being like, really? You're giving me this so I can have some fucking grit? Isn't life already hard enough? I was really pissed. But now I wouldn't change that experience for the world. I've helped so many people. I've learned so many important things about myself. I wouldn't, if I could go back and undo all of that pain and suffering, I wouldn't. Like truly, I wouldn't. I learned too much from that initial experience. So I feel like that could be the case for you, that you're going through a tough time right now. And this is going to be like primer for later, basically. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. What else Spirit needs you to know right now. We have the 9 of Pentacles. It was reversed though. We also have the 5 of Blades. We have the 4 of Cups. A lot of dissatisfaction here, pile number 2. And the 9 of Crystals. You are so done. I'm not laughing at you, I promise. What I mean by you're done is like, okay, let's break it down card by card. 9 of Pentacles, I do feel like you've been financially strapped. You're not feeling like money is free flowing like it is. You're feeling like it's scarce. You're feeling very victimized, maybe by a system or by a person. There's a lot about victimhood here and feeling like you don't have what you need to survive. And the 4 of Cups, I'm just going to say it. Pile number 2, I'm sorry if you came here looking for a sugar-coated reading. I don't do that here. The 4 of Cups is about having opportunities being handed to you and you just kind of snubbing them. You just kind of being like, nope, not for me. Nope, not for me. And don't get me wrong. I think it's brilliant to have standards for your life. I am the queen of having high standards, okay? Having a high standard for your life is good, but sometimes when you close down opportunities, you will never know what kind of magic could have come through that pipeline. Like sometimes it takes going to a fun event that you got invited to that you normally would have said no, to like meet the best friend that you never would have met otherwise, or get involved in a community in a way that you never thought was possible because you didn't know these people. Right? I feel like you're being handed opportunities and you keep saying no because you're looking for something really specific. But the thing is, to get to the specific place that you're trying to go, you have to get it like, You have to get it through a proper channel. Then the universe keeps trying to throw the channels at you and you're saying no. The Nine of Crystals tells me that you are afraid, that you don't want to armor up for battle again, that you've already been feeling like you've had a hard time. And the Nine of Crystals doesn't come out because you haven't suffered. You have suffered. Like, I'm not trying to make light of that. You have suffered. But the Nine of Crystals is a card that it's like you're not ready to armor up for battle again because you're still in pain from the previous. You're still in pain from what went wrong before. But let's keep going. Six of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Okay, Six of Pentacles. This is a good sign. This is like you're going to start to roll money in if you'll take an opportunity. You are going to start to make more money. You're going to start to come out of scarcity. You're going to start to learn that money is a currency that it's an energy you're always able to tap into. And when you are giving it, it's like you need to remember to not hoard and to also give as much as you receive. Money is currency. It wants to be moving, not stagnating. And Queen of Cups tells me that you have like emotional ties to this. Like, this is a very emotional thing. You've been crying about this. Queen of Cups tells me that like there is calm to be found in the middle of this storm though. Look how calm this Queen of Cups is. The Queen of Cups is all about using your inner waters, your inner intuition, your inner voice, maybe even your higher self, I would say to a degree, using that and letting it lead the way to basically keep you safe. Sometimes you got to step off the staircase when you can't see the step in front of you so that you can be caught in the right place. You feel me? It's giving that energy. All right, I've got some astrology cards I want to use too for this reading, so let's see. All right, we have sextile. I do feel like there is divine support. There is support that wants to come into your life, but you have to be open to it. There is support though. You're not alone. Whether it be like metaphysically or like on the spiritual plane or in real life, which all of it's real life, but you know what I mean. We also have the sign of Virgo, which tells me that right now you do need to get a little more organized. If you're feeling very unorganized or really like frantic, Spirit is saying you need to get more organized. Virgo is the sign of like organization. And it's also about like work ethic, understanding what you're working for. It rules over small pets or like domestic animals. It's also about like getting your routines and your work ethic right. Then we have 9. 9 is all about endings, like letting go of endings. Basically letting something go so something new can take its place that's better suited for you. And then the 10th house, this is your career, bestie. This is all about your career, your long-term goals, long-term vision. Okay, you're reading to me, this number one thing that's coming out of it is that you need to recognize how you contribute to your own suffering. I'm not saying that everything is your fault. It's not. Sometimes we are dealt a really crap situation, but it is in how we decide to deal with that situation. Like, we can take control of it and make changes. What you were given isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to dig yourself out. And I know that that's unfortunate. It sucks. It's maddening when others create problems for us that we did not foresee and did not ask for. But you need to start to recognize how you are contributing to your own suffering. Whenever I see this Swords card here, it is a card of making yourself the victim. And though in order to be the hero or the survivor of your life, you have to be the victim first to understand, eventually you need to shift into that, or in order to grow, eventually there has to be a shift, okay, out of that mode. And the 10th house tells me that you do have long-term dreams. You do have long-term goals. There are things that you want to give attention to. You just need to figure those out. You need to give yourself some time to set yourself up for success. And actually ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, what you hope to accomplish. Then we have the 5. This is like, the 5s to me are always very tension filled. They create more tension. So I don't think this is going to be an easy process for you, but it's something that is necessary. Then we have a Grand Trine. If you do this, you're going to see how miracles are going to materialize. Like you are going to be so bountiful and provided for. Everything is going to make sense for you. You're confused right now because you need to sit down and get your priorities straight. And I'm sorry, I'm giving it to you the way that Spirit is giving it to me. I'm not trying to be a jerk. But ultimately, that's the biggest thing, is you need to ask yourself, what part in your own suffering are you contributing to? And how can you stop doing that, giving that contribution and changing it? One of my favorite ways to do this as well, and it's because Spirit is showing it to me in my head, I need to repeat it. A way that I feel like I work through a lot of my problems like this when I realize I'm contributing to my own suffering is I won't just keep doing it and say, this is just how it is. Don't give up on yourself like that. There is somebody out there that has experienced what you're experiencing. And I promise you, somebody that had this experience wrote a book or a podcast or made a YouTube video. There are people out there that have dealt with what you're dealing with that have already paved the way for you. They already did all the work and they're already on the other side. You just need to find that person. Pull up your Amazon, get on your Kindle, look for some books on what you're dealing with. Get on YouTube, search it up in the YouTube search bar. Get on Spotify or, Apple Podcasts, whatever you got. Search up some keywords for what you feel like you're dealing with. I guarantee you somebody is going to help you with what you're working through, even if you don't know them personally. This is like number one bare minimum way to start changing this. Because I can tell that you've been hurting. Again, I'm not trying to be hard on you and just be a jerk, but like, I want you to recover. I want you to feel better. I want you to succeed. I want you to get to this grand trine of like feeling excellent and like life feels good again. But in order to get there and to become more clear, you have to start digging your heels in and saying, okay, we're going the other direction now. No longer going downhill. We're going uphill, even if it's hard. We're doing it. I feel like that's it. That's what I got, Pile 1. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to check out my Patreon as well as my website if you want to get a private reading for yourself. And don't forget to stay cozy out there, Cozy Babe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. Decks, links, everything is down below. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Before we get into your reading, I just want to let you know about today's sponsor, which is me, myself, Kloee Taylor, and I. If y'all didn't know, I don't just read tarot cards here on YouTube. I also do private readings on my website, KloeTaylor.com. And I also have my Patreon available to you. So my private readings right now, if you're seeing this when this video is newly released, I actually, for the first time ever, have listed some relationship readings, private readings on my website. There's one for singles, takens, and one for self-love in honor of Valentine's Day. So be sure to grab those while supplies last because I will not be restocking them. And there's birth charts and a myriad of other readings you can find there as well. Grab them before they're gone because I don't know when I'll actually be restocking this time. I've been doing them pretty consistently the last few months, but I know that I'm going to be taking a break from private readings after this set. So if you're wanting a reading, make sure you snag one while you can. And then my Patreon, if you didn't know, every single month I put together extra pick a cards for y'all, masterclasses. I just did an astrology masterclass this past month, and it was all about like being your own astro bestie and learning to read your birth charts. I also do like monthly tarot and astrology readings for all of the signs. I go through and I tell you like what for your sign you should be expecting. I do like a deep dive every month for you around the first of the month. There's a monthly theme. There's just that. And like when you join, you also unlock something crazy, like over 400 posts from me. So videos that you can't get anywhere else. And I love my patrons over on Patreon. Y'all are the best. So be sure to join, become a Cozy Babe. I just wanted to let you know about those two things. Now let's go ahead and get into your reading. All right. Pile number 3. Your first card, you got Saturni or Saturn. So you could be going through a Saturn return right now. Maybe that's why it's applicable, but I am going to actually read this one from the book. And this one says, structure, authority, and consequences. Saturn is known as the great ruler, the authoritative father, and the structuring force. Limitations, rules, logistics, and laws all fall under Saturn's claim. They insist in our adherence. Saturn constricts, it corrects, it governs. The force of this planet is mind-bogglingly frustrating, especially for creative types, as it can feel like one limitation after another. Yet its ability to support is unmatched. No creative project can come to be without the Saturnian qualities of commitment, endurance, and steadiness. The tick of the clock reminds us of this planet's steady presence, eternally measuring. It's no surprise it's associated with the metal lead and the qualities of density and weight. To embrace Saturn is to embrace the foundation and become one's own central authority. It's not as dull or easy as it sounds. That's Saturn's secret. Read the poem, The Core of Masculinity by Rumi, to ponder silence as power. Saturn is deeply related to the time and chronology. It is linked to the Greek god Kronos and to Father Time. Consider your relationship with the clock today, and above all, don't be late. And ironically, and to the amusement of our anarchists everywhere, the authoritarian energy of Saturn is said to reside in the middle finger. That is funny. All right, I've got some more cards to go with this, but let's see. So maybe you're just feeling like you need a little more steadfast or structure in your life, or maybe this is something you actually struggle with. Or like I said, you could be going through a major Saturn transit right now. All right, first up, we have the Seven of Crystals. I'm going to lay some cards out and then we'll talk about them. We have the King of Cups. We have the Five of Cups reversed. This card's come out reversed a couple times now today. And the Four of Blades. I'm going to be real with y'all. I think you're setting boundaries with people. I think you're saying no to things. I think you're finally on your last damn nerve. And the Seven of Crystals tells me that you're no longer willing to succumb to what has been given to you. I'm really getting a strong energy of like, you're one of so many children and you have parents that don't get you, or you like see the trauma of the family. It's giving ancestral work. Okay. It's giving, there's a lot of blame, or maybe you've been scapegoated in your family, and you actually are somebody that's very sensitive and in tune and very emotional and loving and like unconditionally loving towards people. And people drink that up. The thing is, when you're a waterfall, when you're a fountain, when you're giving and you're that kind of person, that is like the worst thing when it finally happens, because I feel like every person that overgives hits this at some point. They recognize that they have nothing left for themselves. And this is when the Saturnian energy really kicks in and is like, nah, you got to hold some back for yourself. You can't keep filling everybody else up from an empty cup, and you need to set your boundaries. So telling people no, Maybe you used to be someone that always felt like you needed to be at every family gathering. You needed to go to every party. You needed to always be filling your social calendar because it's what your parents did. But you're somebody now that's like, no, actually, I need to be at home. Actually, I need to be with myself. Actually, I need to drink less, smoke less. I need to put myself and my health and my well-being first, and none shall pass anymore. You're done. I feel like you're finally at your wit's end. And the Four of Blades here tells me that you're prioritizing your rest. That is what is coming in for you right now. You're prioritizing rest, and you're not willing to compromise on that anymore. You are your number one priority. Then we have the Three of Cups. See, and when you do this, you actually make room for the right people. I feel like you're my kind of person, pile number 3. I've been through this same thing myself. And which is funny because I feel like when you're attracted to a certain tarot card reader or you come across their video, a lot of times your energy will resonate with the reader. Like you will have gone through similar experiences sometimes. And though we are different people and we, I'm sure, have had a different walk of life, you and I feel like I really understand this energy because I am the only child out of 7 in my family that live away from my family. I'm the only person that like got really invested into self-help, deep emotional work, trauma healing, ancestral healing, the healing arts in general. I'm the only one that like works in this realm in my family. And I see the illusions and I also see the trauma, the generational trauma in my family, and I see the dysfunction. And most people, when you're in a system and that's all you've ever known and you've never stepped out of it like that, when you're in a family system like that, it's hard because you want to shake everybody else and make them see what you see. Some of them might listen, but ultimately it's not your job. And I think you're coming to a place where you're recognizing that it's not your circus nor your monkeys. And you're going to start making family outside of that. You're going to start to make way and room for the people that really replenish you and don't drain you constantly. And I think as you say no and set these boundaries, the right people are going to make the time. Then we have King of Crystals. Okay, so we're going from a King of Cups to a King of Crystals, which in this deck, crystals are wands. Yeah, because blades are swords. So the King of Crystals, the King of Wands energy, you go from being this like highly sensitive, really emotionally connected, maybe always feeling in your feelings because you're with people that facilitate that in you or bring that out in you. And when you start to set the boundaries, you get closer to people that fill you up and you notice that your creativity comes back, your passion comes back, your vitality comes back. You feel excited about life again because you've been touched by the right people. So that I feel like is something that's coming up for you. Now, I also have some astrology cards I want to pull just to see. All right, we have stellium, Uranus. I wonder if you have an Aquarius stellium or a stellium. I always say stellium. A stellium is where you have 3 or more planets in one astrological sign. So like you would be like a Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Taurus Venus. That would be a stellium. Or like Capricorn sun, Capricorn Mercury, Capricorn Mars. That would be a stellium. It's when you have 3 or more planets in one zodiac sign. And I said Aquarius because Uranus is like it's not the traditional ruler of Aquarius. I want to say that's Saturn, but like more modern astrology teaches Uranus as the ruler of Aquarius. But Uranus is our planet of chaos. So I do feel like you're afraid that this might cause chaos in your life. And the fact of the matter is it might. But it's okay. You're allowed to forge your way through chaos. I promise you, as you start to become the main authority on your life and like decide what's for you and what's not and weed out the rest, you're not going to care if chaos is caused because you're the one who gets to decide what you hold and what you don't. Then we have 3. 3 is coming through strong for you because we have 3 of Cups and then a 3. 3 is a really powerful number as it like corresponds to the Holy Trinity. It corresponds to the goddess, like the maiden mother crone. It corresponds to the infinity symbol, obviously. It's also the Fibonacci 3. Threes are like very sacred. So I do feel like you are going to be bonding in like sisterhood or brotherhood with other really like spiritual people or people that make you feel safe. There is like, you're getting together with 2 people. It's not just one. I'm hearing for some of you, this also might be like a polyamorous thing, like a polyamory relationship. And then we have Moon. So moon corresponds to mother, as well as like what we do in the shadows. It also is like how we emotionally regulate or how we work through emotional turmoil. Let me know, y'all, those of y'all that are on my Patreon, let me know if you want a masterclass or like a video, even just on moonology, like different moon placements and what they mean and like how to figure that out and suss that out, because I feel like I could really talk about the moon a lot, and that would be a cool masterclass for February to do, is like teach y'all how to work with the moon and like what it means and how to, yeah, I think that would be so fun actually. So let me know if y'all want that, and also join my Patreon if so. Let's see what else we have here. We have 7. Some of y'all, your lucky number might just be 7, but 7 corresponds to contracts. It's the 7th house is like the house of how we like communicate and talk with other. It's marriages, partnerships, business contracts. So that could be something that's just coming up in your life. Very Saturnian as well. If you're going through a Saturn return, you'd be in your late 20s, early 30s. If you're beyond the age of 33, you've already gone through it though. But it's sometimes people get divorced and or married during their Saturn return. So I just wanted to point that out. Then we have the waxing crescent. Okay. So this also tells me that you're in a stage where you've already set some things in motion in your life. Maybe you've already started laying down some kind of boundary, and Spirit is saying you just need to hold it right now. You just need to build upon it, hold it, continue to hold strong, because we're building up to that full moon now. You've already set the intention. So keep holding. And I feel like that's it. That's what I got, Pile 1. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to check out my Patreon as well as my website if you want to get a private reading for yourself. And don't forget to stay cozy out there, cozy babe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. Decks, links, everything is down below. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Before we get into your reading, I just want to let you know about today's sponsor, which is me, myself, Kloee Taylor, and I. If y'all didn't know, I don't just read tarot cards here on YouTube. I also do private readings on my website, 𝐘loeTaylor.com. And I also have my Patreon available to you. So my private readings right now, if you're seeing this when this video is newly released, I actually, for the first time ever, have listed some relationship readings, private readings on my website. There's one for singles, takens, and one for self-love in honor of Valentine's Day. So be sure to grab those while supplies last, because I will not be restocking them. And there's birth charts and a myriad of other readings you can find there as well. Grab them before they're gone, because I don't know when I'll actually be restocking this time. I've been doing them pretty consistently the last few months, but I know that I'm going to be taking a break from private readings after this set. So if you're wanting a reading, make sure you snag one while you can. And then my Patreon, if you didn't know, every single month I put together extra pick-a cards for y'all, masterclasses. I just did an astrology masterclass this past month, and it was all about like being your own astro bestie and learning to read your birth charts. I also do like monthly tarot and astrology readings for all of the signs. I go through and I tell you like what for your sign you should be expecting. I do like a deep dive every month for you around the first of the month. There's a monthly theme. There's just that. And like when you join, you also unlock something crazy, like over 400 posts from me. So videos that you can't get anywhere else. And I love my patrons over on Patreon. Y'all are the best. So be sure to join, become a cozy babe. I just wanted to let you know about those two things. Now let's go ahead and get into your reading. All right, pile number 4. Your pile was the special pile, because I knew this before I even got into the reading, that your reading was not supposed to be a reading. It was supposed to be a candle spell or a candle cleanse or whatever you want to call this. This is something that I specialize in. So I don't know if it's one person. I don't know if it's 30 of you, but if you chose pile 4, I would encourage you to listen to this and then go and choose either pile 1, 2, or 3 if you want a card reading. But basically, I have brought a black candle here with me today. And what this does is I am a practicing what's the word? I'm a practicing chaos witch. Sorry. I've been filming a lot today. I'm a practicing chaos witch, and black candles symbolize like the removal. They can be curse removal, hex removal, but also they are purification and cleansing. So we are going to be just doing a little bit of a cleansing candle spell. And I believe that by doing this, lighting this, basically whatever intention you set of clearing out of your life with this candle, which I'm going to ask you to do today, it's going to be cleansed away. And this candle, this is for you. I'm going to leave it on my altar to burn after I light it for us. And just, I want you to focus on feeling the release. So I want you first to go ahead and place one hand over your heart, one over your belly button area. This is called a safe hold in some practices, but basically we're going to take a really deep breath in, trying to expand your stomach as you do so. And we're going to do 3 of those. Just deep breath in, deep breath out, but don't feel like you have to do it in sync with me. Do it at your own pace, okay? Okay, so now I want you to think, and you can keep taking deep breaths if you want to. I want you just to think about something you would like to release from your life. And if you need to pause the video and take a moment to think about it, please do so. And I'm going to go ahead and just get this candle ready for us. So I'm going to just melt the bottom of it a little bit. This is how you get candles to stand up straight, by the way. When you're trying to put them in a holder, you melt the bottom a little bit and stick it in. Okay. I know it's hard to see from this angle, but it's going to have to trust me here. All right. Now that you've got what you want to release, I just want you to focus on that. Focus on that thing. It doesn't even have to be like an experience, or you don't have to get super focused in on it. I just want you to envision yourself, or just set intention if you're somebody that doesn't want to use the imagination or can't. Go ahead and just place that into a box. Just imagine it. Imagine yourself in first person putting this thing into a box, and then just sending that box. You can push it, you can kick it, you can, whatever feels right, just pushing that box away from you and watching it just kind of float away. Like just through the wall. If you're imagining you're in a place with walls, just through the wall, out into space. It's gone. It's not coming back. Just sending it off. And now I'm going to go ahead and just light this candle for us. I just want you to focus on this leaving your life. And like I said, I'm going to let this burn on my altar for y'all. I'm going to let y'all have a little bit of time here to watch it, but I'm going to let this burn on my altar for y'all all the way out. And just know that this thing is going to be removed. It's like after this, it's done. It's gone. It's done. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. I'm going to go ahead and turn up some meditation music. You can stay here for as long as you need to. But if you were still wanting a card reading today, go ahead and head back to the beginning and choose between pile 1, 2, or 3. And I just want you to know that I love you so much. And it was an honor to do this for you. Thank you for letting me do this work. Thank you for showing up for it. And just rest easy knowing that this thing is going. And let me know down below if putting things like this in my videos is helpful for you, because I feel like I get nudges to do this sometimes and I don't know. I'll like shy away sometimes, but if this is helpful for you and you feel helped by this, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I love you.